The press is under attack, and rightly so, according to Donald Trump. He has let us know in no uncertain terms and repeatedly that those in the media are dishonest, so dishonest. They lie. I'm guessing that he's been hearing that most are devil worshippers with unpatriotic foreign stuff in their attics. I'm sure that he's hearing that people are saying they may not be real Americans. Some might be black or Muslim, or both black and Muslim. Bad. Sad. President lying 78% of the time has a penchant for falsehood. Trump's integrity outages may have been of relatively small consequence during the campaign, except of course to rally attendees who got beaten up at his direction. But his dishonesty has huge consequences on the national and international stage now that he's the president. You need to read the Los Angeles Times 4-part editorial series, The Problem with Trump. These essays provide a level-headed and shocking analysis of what's really going on. It's big, and everything we hold dear is at risk. Trump's dishonesty is happening during an era of vitriolic, polarized politics, especially in Congress, which makes constraining the worst of Trump's lunacies next to impossible. In large measure, that is what puts everything at risk. I've written several times about looming fascism in America because of the bully in the White House and the extremists in Congress. I've seen nothing to mollify my concerns. While I don't know if Trump is even capable of planning such a thing, I'm confident that Steve Bannon and Jared Kushner are capable of that, and their influence only grows. And no, don't imagine for an instant that because Kushner is Jewish that he's not capable of driving our nation to fascism. Not Nazism, fascism. From How I Became an American by Yascha Mounk, quote, "Like Mr. Trump, democratically elected dictators have often believed that they don't owe political consideration to the minorities they vilify. And like Mr. Trump, they have often claimed that all those who challenge their rule, independent judges, critical journalists, are enemies of the people. For anybody who has studied how democracies die, the president's dark rhetoric sounds familiar." Close quotes. Read the Los Angeles Times pieces, all 4 editorials. Now let's connect this to a broader reality. In a stunning piece by David Roberts for Vox.com entitled "Donald Trump and the Rise of Tribal Epistemology," Roberts lays bare the erosion of our institutions that were designed to provide the foundation upon which our society is built. He's talking about truth, science, democratic systems, and a clarity of the difference between right doing and wrongdoing. He's talking about the very things Trump and Bannon want to take down. And they're not alone in their efforts toward destruction. Witness how the right wing has rejected the consensus of the world's scientists on climate change. With a Democrat in the White House, the Republicans filibustered every bill. House Republicans routinely threaten the solvency of the country by refusing to raise the debt ceiling. The Senate refused to even have hearings on Obama's Supreme Court nominee. Republicans united behind a serial swindler and a self-confessed sexual predator. What happened to their spines? Roberts' piece specifically focuses on journalism and in what it can do in this post-truth, post-fact, post-norms era. He writes, quote, "At a deeper level, healthy journalism relies on the basic institutions and norms of liberal democracy, on transpartisan authorities capable of establishing a common bedrock of facts and rules. As we've seen in other democracies around the world that succumb to autocracy, think Russia, Hungary, Turkey, Venezuela, the decline in institutions is both cause and consequence of authoritarianism. So, chicken or egg first? Really doesn't matter if nothing is solidly reliable." Recall your 8th grade science class where you learned about Sir Isaac Newton and his laws of motions, the first of which, paraphrased, was, "A body in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force." Your teacher may have demonstrated that law with a thrown ball, which would have carried out to the most distant reaches of the universe but for that pesky gravity thing, the immediate outside force. Gravity changed the trajectory of the ball and made it accelerate in an arc toward the center of the Earth. Yes, I know that's more science than you were looking for in a political commentary, but perhaps you remember some of that. Surely you remember that law of motion, and that's the main point. Unaffected by an outside force, everything keeps going on its trajectory, and that's true of politics as well. So if there is a different future that you want to see than the one we're headed directly toward, there better be some force acting on it. You're that force. Get off the couch and get on the streets. Protest, resist, recruit. Call, text, and write your congressperson and senators. Show up at their doors. Join with others that move to amend. Common Cause. Represent Us. May Day. And kick in a few bucks to save your democracy. Get a political bullhorn and make your voice heard.